go!
Probably the best in the league.
Yeah, that's what they say. Top 3? Yeah, right up there.
It's the Sittin Sportside Podcast, exclusively on 1045theteam.com.
And welcome into the podcast here on February 11th. And we are coming to you from the ESPN Radio 1045 The Team Studios here on 1045theteam.com. Matt Hogan, what's up, man?
What's going on?
I'm Eric Hanman, and we're having the first podcast after the Super Bowl. Not much to touch on, I don't think, from our perspective.
No, Patriots are the best, and what are you going to do?
Might be a topic for another day.
Yeah,
but yeah, obviously, they'll go down in history books for sure. But where are we going to start off with the NFL? I think we got a lot of the offseason stuff just to really get into, whether it's quarterbacks. But I think first it's kind of like, you know how they do the way too early rankings?
Yeah, the way too early rankings, way too early MVPs.
We're not going to necessarily go into that per se. I think it's more of like, all right, we had 6 teams from each conference make the playoffs. So 12 total teams make the playoffs. We can decide which ones we don't think might get back to the promised land. And then ones, there's 20 other teams. Which one of those is going to make the playoffs next year? That didn't make it this year. I think it'd be interesting to talk about that.
Now, so let's start with teams that we think aren't going to make it, that did make it last year. You want to do that?
Sure.
Start like that. So right off the bat, I'm going to say the Houston Texans. I think that division isn't the greatest division, but I think a team like the Colts should get better. I think the Titans are going to be a lot better with Mariota playing a whole season in his 3rd year, right, under that same offense. And their defense is pretty good. So I think the Texans are going to take a step back, especially since now Bill O'Brien's taken over as the offensive coordinator also, he'll be calling the offensive plays. I think that's a lot to shoulder on him. And I don't know if I see Brock Osweiler being that quarterback yet, that they paid all that money to really be able to take over a game. He hasn't done it yet, and I don't see him doing it.
They might not even have him as a quarterback next year. We don't really know what's going to happen with, like I said, we're going to talk about a little bit later with a little quarterback action going on in this offseason. And I would say Houston's, right up there with the Tony Romo talks.
Oh, absolutely.
Bringing in him or I don't know who else.
They'll definitely be, I feel like they'll be intrigued to see what's going on, what kind of quarterback they can get.
Well, at what point do you say, the contract, the money doesn't matter if you're the Texans? Because when you have someone you paid money for, you kind of have to give them the most chances that you possibly can.
If he didn't win that first playoff game, I think we'd be sitting here saying, he's definitely on his way out, basically. But now that he won that game, and I know he wasn't that great or anything like that, but I think it's like, it's in your head now that, he did win that playoff game, and they did almost, they made the Patriots game an actual game.
And there's no reason he can't make adjustments going into next year.
No, we've seen it before.
And they could become more of a ground and pound. I don't know. They could bring in another running back to spell Lamar Miller, so they could just be someone that just runs the football, and he only has to throw it 20.
Yeah, because he was hurt too at times, Lamar Miller. He was playing through that shoulder injury. And as much as Alfred Blue has been an admirable backup.
LSU.
Huh?
LSU.
Oh, slipping an LSU in there. But I just don't think he's that capable of being able to, compliment Lamar Miller in that sense. In the sense of if you only have a quarterback thrown 20 times.
Like you already mentioned the Titans.
Yep. They're my favorite.
I'm bullish on the Jaguars under new leadership.
Okay, yeah.
And I've always been a big Colts fan and an Andrew Luck guy at this point. So for the Texans, it's gone from like probably the most uncompetitive division, I guess. It came down to the wire when Mariota didn't win Week 16. He went down and they lost that game. It was basically over at that point. But it's going to become more, I think it'll be very competitive going into next year for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think the Texans are, I don't want to say they're going to, because they're not going to become, the, the laughing stock of the division, I guess. But I do think it's not going to be clear cut. Oh, we're probably going to be, the best team in that division. I don't think you could say that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then you also look at it too. You need a quarterback to win those important playoff games. Brock Osweiler might be the fourth best quarterback in that division. Right?
Well,
I mean, you can make a case for Bortles being better than him, and I actually would. He's a fourth best quarterback. I mean, if he's the quarterback they roll with next year, I'm not confident that they're going to be able to make the playoffs, even with J.J. Watt coming back most likely.
But I guess the defense is probably, by hands down, at this juncture, the best in that. So I think that which one trumps the other is the question there. Does having the best defense and the worst quarterback still make you...
I'd rather have the best quarterback and the worst defense.
Huh.
Because I saw that this year with the Packers, and they did pretty well, other than getting spanked by the Atlanta Falcons. Absolutely demolished.
Oh, man.
But that would be more my point is.
At this point, I miss Mike. He would have come up with some kind of random comment.
Well, we would have went into the 2006 draft class. Mike, you're the man.
Shout out Mike James doing his thing out in Arizona. Is that your one team? Because I'm looking at that, and that's actually kind of where I'm kind of thinking about putting my hands on. I'm not going to officially do it, putting my hands on one, like picking a team, like you just said, for the Texans not to make it. I was thinking about handpicking one of the other teams we just mentioned as being one that does. I haven't officially gotten there, but it's definitely in my brain.
I was going to go with the Titans, but I have another team that I think is actually, and again, I'm should I just tell you right now who that team is? I think the Arizona Cardinals, now that Carson Palmer's coming back, and Larry Fitzgerald's most likely last season also, I think they're going to be able to make that push into the playoffs again. Because that defense is pretty good. They're better than they played last year, in my opinion.
Yep.
You have David Johnson, who could be the best running back in the league, at least top 3. He's an insane weapon to have. And if Carson Palmer can just play like he did 2 years ago, I know that's kind of a lot to ask for, but last year he just didn't look the same. The whole team didn't look the same. Bruce Arians was dealing with health issues. Maybe I know it's weird to say, but maybe he's like better equipped now.
Yeah.
After it's weird to say, like a coach, like maybe they need an off season to like get better. You know what I mean?
No, I mean I definitely see it.
I see the Cardinals making a push, and I don't think the Seahawks are as good as advertised.
We're coming off a season where we saw Gary Kubiak retire because of health issues.
Yeah.
So obviously, health is something that you need to be able to motivate your players. But I don't know if I necessarily, because if we're picking just one team, or are we just going over to? Because I know you can make a case for a lot of teams for sure. But to say the Cardinals are going to make, I like it. And that division, the only team that they really have to compete with is the Seahawks, and we don't really know where they're going, I guess. Because
that's why I think they can have a
they were kind of spiraling in a way. They're trending in the wrong direction. Let me just say that. Not that, we don't know what's going to happen with Earl Thomas and whatnot, but
that's the thing too. If they don't have Earl Thomas and their offensive line is
going to be up to
not
Carson.
great.
It's going to be up to Carson.
Just like it was.
It was just kind of
Palmer made a ton of mistakes last year. A lot of those games, in my opinion, fell on him, like not being able to do his job.
I just think there's a guy on the TV who looked like just like Larry Fitzgerald, and I was like, wait, we talk, but it was not.
It was.
It was someone from. Doesn't matter. But I think that it's going to be I think Fitzgerald is very important, obviously, but he's still going to be the best receiver on that team, which is, I guess, I want to say it's a bad thing, but it's going to be, can John Brown be consistent? Can J.J. Nelson be consistent? And we saw Nelson be very good this past year.
They're going to need a deep
We saw
threat.
Jaron Brown have some, but it's just there wasn't enough consistency from all of those. Talking about consistency, the face of consistency is Larry Fitzgerald. But he can't do it all, and I think that's what he was kind of
doing
this year.
Yeah.
With David Johnson obviously being a big part of them.
Well, I think they're hoping John Brown too, and he was suffering from sickle cell anemia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anemia. I say anemia the first time. Anemia, but he he had some health problems. So. Yeah. So he had some health problems there, and I don't think he was playing at full capacity. There was only like 3 or 4 games towards the later half where he played like the majority of snaps again. And he's like that deep threat they need. He's that guy. I really do. And if you could have J.J. Nelson as your third, that's fine. Or
now,
but they have to be more consistent. I think they will.
Is Matthew going to be able to recover in time, you think?
I don't know.
From his injury? I think
that was that was towards the middle of the season, right?
I think so.
Or maybe later on, but
we'll see. We'll see what happens. They're definitely a team that's there. I would actually put them, ironically, I'm looking at the website. They're right across from each other. I'd put them in the same area as I see the Denver Broncos, where it's like it's going to be up to quarterback play. Their defense is probably good enough, and they're just coming off a year, which I guess the Broncos aren't coming off as much of a down year as you see the Cardinals coming off of. But Broncos are coming off a year where they didn't make the playoffs
after winning a Super Bowl.
And then It's a little different though now because of the coach. I mean, we don't know what that's gonna bring, and I think that would be one of the other teams I would put in as one I think that can make the playoffs. That didn't make it this year. Though a team that I would say that did make the playoffs, I don't see necessarily making it next year. I'm sorry, Dolphins fans. I know we have one who works in this building or is an intern in this building. I'm sorry, I don't see the Dolphins making it back to the playoffs only because I don't necessarily see them as a bad team. I think that their defense is solid up front and they got talent on the offensive side of the football, but I can't see them repeating it against what's going to be a harder competition. I see this as what the Jets were, right? 10-6 2 seasons ago at this point. And then
they also had one of the
easier schedule.
Yeah, I was about to say they also had an easy schedule.
The Dolphins had they won some games.
They won big games.
The games that they needed to win, like the competition wise, they ended up winning a couple of those. But other than that, their competition was not as high as some of the others, like the Broncos. You have to play the Chiefs twice a year, and you had to play the Raiders twice this year.
Yeah.
And even the Chargers are no slouches. The Jets are pretty bad. I know obviously the Patriots, the Dolphins had to play twice, but they also are playing the likes of the Browns, So I mean,
yeah, it
just,
wasn't the greatest plethora
they had
of competition.
An easier type schedule, especially coming in they came in 4th place 2 years ago, seasons ago. So that it gets you when you come in 4th place, most of the time it gets you 2 games that are against weaker opponents. Sometimes you get unlucky because that team also takes a stride the next year, but that's where it's interesting. Where do you see a team that goes from worst to first? Is there one, maybe not worst to first, but like worst to a playoff picture?
To getting into fighting for a playoffs?
Right, that's what the Dolphins were.
I actually have a team that I think will be fighting for a playoff spot, even though it's in one of the toughest divisions in football, and that's the San Diego Chargers. You know how much I love them. Well, did I just say San Diego?
You said San Diego.
I did say San Diego.
I said San Diego too.
So the Chargers, I just think they have the quarterback. Keenan Allen will be back.
I think
Danny Woodhead should be back.
This is a good segue. Talk about quarterbacks. I think so to get traded. I think Rivers getting traded. I really do.
Think he's gone?
I think he's getting traded. We were kind of talking before we hopped on mics here about Romo. You brought up Alex Smith. I do believe that there's a chance that we see Philip Rivers in a different uniform. I think he's not. I know he's not going to. I don't even think he wants to be in LA.
No, he made that pretty clear before the season that if they went to LA, he doesn't want to be there. So that's
who would, right?
Well,
I'm kidding. But no, I agree with him though. I mean, see how many kids the dude has. He's want to raise a family in LA.
He's got a lot of kids.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, and they seem pretty down to earth. I mean, it's not a great place. And no offense to anyone out in LA, but it doesn't seem like a great place for a down-to-earth family to raise kids. I don't know. Am I being a little
I just don't
harsh?
think he likes. I just don't think he likes. No, I just don't think he likes the lifestyle there.
Yeah,
that's all.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's it's not a big.
Nothing wrong with that lifestyle, and there's nothing wrong with not liking it. Like Philip Rivers,
Yeah.
I guess. What I guess is what I'm saying. Anyway,
now talking about that, is there a team where you see Tony Romo going to that you are favoring?
Tony Romo.
Yeah,
we're talking about Rome's. The Romsos. I don't even know. Okay, real quick. Let me just say this, and I'm gonna let you let me get my thoughts. So do you have someone for Romo, real quick? Because I want to get my thoughts together here for a second.
I kind of have like a guest team that maybe wouldn't be. I think they would have to make a significant move to get this deal done, but I think they could, and I think it's actually a great fit for them.
Okay.
So
all right, I have my thought ready for what I want to say.
All right, let's see it.
Okay. Quarterbacks currently on Dallas roster, playoff record. Dak Prescott 0-1, Tony Romo 1-3, Mark Sanchez 4-2. Boom!
Mark Sanchez should be the starter, are you saying? Are you iterating that Mark Sanchez is their best option? Maybe they just have a regular season with Dak, and then
just let
playoffs,
Sanchez take
let
over,
Sanchez come in.
He's 4-2, and he's also 4-2 on the road, man. All of those games were on the road.
Phenomenal defense.
The Sanchez, man.
Yeah. It's a good backup quarterback to have.
No, but I think that, but that's the thing. I think that they realized, we kind of, ended up with Mark Sanchez in our laps. Not that he's someone that because I asked the Eagles a couple years ago, right? They were a team that was probably bound for the playoffs, and even Chip Kelly is probably like, great, I could have had a job if this wasn't the case. And Sanchez did not do a good enough job to get him to the promised land of the playoffs. But I think he's a capable enough quarterback where they're at this point, like, we're fine with trading Romo and get that contract offer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no need to have him, and what you could probably get in return is probably, pretty significant where it's actually worth it.
So I do have a weird guess for Romo.
Oh, I hope we don't pick the same one.
You want to go first? Because you were about to say it.
All right, well, mine's the Houston Texans. I know we just talked about them.
Okay.
I could totally see him in that offense moving, just going to Houston.
Still Texas.
I wonder if that would cause an issue for Jerry Jones, if if that front office would be we don't really want to give him to our in-state, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I think that's a perfect fit. They need a quarterback. Brock Osweiler, I mean, they could give him another year, but really, how many years do you have in the NFL to be successful, right? They did it without a quarterback last year. And keep Brock Osweiler on the, roster if you do. He's not a bad backup quarterback to have.
Mm.
I think Tony Romo would be perfect there. He's got weapons there, too.
I think the perfect fit is Denver.
That's where a lot of people...
But my guess is, and this is completely out of left field, he could go back to where he played college in the same state.
Oh.
Chicago Bears.
Yeah, all right.
I don't know. We saw who brought in Peyton Manning? It was John Fox. He brought in the veteran. I mean, I don't know. It was really Elway, but
no, I know what you're saying.
Who was the coach? It was John Fox. Cutler's gone. You saw Hoyer do okay, but health is an issue there as well.
I might be wrong, but I just don't think the Bears are a team that's on the verge of doing
If you think Jerry
anything.
Jones cares if they get the picks?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying from
I
a
agree with
Bears
you.
standpoint, do they make that move? Because that's to get him, I'm thinking you give up.
Do you make that move to make sure you can hold on to Alshon Jeffrey?
I don't think I would. I don't think. I know what you're saying. It'd be a good combination, but
That defense,
Alshon's
I
got to
think
do
that
more for
defense
me.
is better. Is where I take a step
Defense
forward.
actually did pretty good last
Right.
year in games, but Alshon,
Jordan
he's
Howard
great,
is the second leading rusher in the league.
Yeah, and they have another.
Kevin White needs to get healthy.
He's still raw.
Still raw.
He's still very raw.
But he's going into his third year. It seems like he's going into his first, but it's still. His
I was
third.
about to say it seems like he still probably has the experience of a first-year player. No, that's a good. I like it.
It's just a weird connection with the whole Eastern Illinois and
Yeah,
it's Eastern or
the
North?
coaching staff too, as you said and mentioned, they have the
Right.
weapons if Alshon stays. Kevin White, if he can ever turn out to be what they drafted him for.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels, and Zach Miller is Jason Witten-esque.
Yeah, he's very underrated.
So, man, I don't know. I see it. I see for whatever reason. I think it's not going to be a team that we always think it's going to be.
Yeah, no, and Tony Romo's still got some left in him, I think, if he could stay healthy, which is a huge question, but that's why I was more going towards a team that can, actually make a run in the playoffs. I just don't think the Bears could. That's my opinion.
Right, because you're coming off you're in a division that has three teams coming off a playoff berth, and
He'd probably be the third best quarterback in that division.
ooh, wow.
As of right now.
That's a shot at Bradford, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, Bradford, but no. Sorry. Even though he just broke the record for completion percentage in a year, that's just too bad.
Yeah, and I actually have a correction of a previous show. Apparently, Drew Brees passed Chad Pennington for best completion percentage of all time after this year.
So hey, there we go.
So it could change. Pennington could get back in the lead, but Brees had a pretty exceptional season himself and completion percentage and jumped the good old Chad.
Now what?
Good old CP10.
Now speaking about the Bears. All right, getting on that. What about Jay Cutler? His future most likely is in Chicago. Do you see a team that would be willing to take a chance on him?
I think it's one of those things where he could fit in St. Louis.
Whoa. After they have Jared Goff.
Yeah.
All right, I got to hear your feelings about this. We had a little chat before the show. I guess
a little preparation. This is what it turns into, I guess. It's kind of off the cuff. All right, so for me, I don't really know what Jared Goff is per se, but I do know that Sean McVay, the new quarterback, or excuse me, head coach, but quarterback whisperer is what I'll call him, what I wanted to call him, and I think that it's not his guy, right? I'm not saying Jay Cutler will be his guy, but it's one of those things where you want to bring in your own guy, who could run your offense. I see Jay Cutler as kind of Kirk Cousins-esque in a way, right?
Yeah.
And here's my thoughts on Goff. If you look at the previous, who's the biggest 2 draft busts in the history of NFL? Quarterback-wise, I guess.
Got ourselves Russell.
What's that? Yeah, Jamarcus Russell,
Yep.
Ryan Leaf. So if you go back to Ryan Leaf, he was drafted by 2nd overall, obviously, after Peyton Manning. He was drafted by the Chargers and Kevin Gilbride, but Gilbride's fired. They call it now, I think it was by 8 weeks into the season. So the guy who wanted him, he's gone. What happens? He's the biggest bust of all time. Jamarcus Russell. Who did Lane Kiffin want to draft? He wanted to draft Calvin Johnson. Was forced by Al Davis
Great move.
into drafting Jamarcus Russell. Didn't want him. He leaves, and we know that Russell had some problems, in his personal life that end up coming onto the field. But that was a big reason. Oh, we don't really. I think it's. And then what happened with Jeff Fisher? Oh, we don't know this for a fact, I guess, but he was forced to draft Jared Goff. A year later, it's not Jeff Fisher's team anymore. It's now Sean McVay. So I look at these as very similar situations, and I think it's for Jared Goff's career. It's really big this year for him to buy into what McVay's selling. But I still think at the end of the day, if McVay goes up to the front office and says, if we can get Jay Cutler cheap enough, I think I could do better with the Cutler than I can possibly with. I'm not sure, because I'm looking at the tape, guys. I'm not sure I can do much with Goff. I'm not sure Goff's going to be my guy. I'll still try my best, but if you can get Cutler on the cheap, man, I would really appreciate that. I mean, if you're the Rams, why not? I mean, you're still trying to win football games. And if you're the guy you just brought in for the next whatever they signed up for, 3-4 years, and for them, they hope it's a long time. If he wants to bring in Jay Cutler and then still says, oh, well, I might be able to develop Jared Goff, why not? Let's try it. So I see that possibly being the case. And then back to the quick thing on the Goff thing. He needs to, and like I said, if the Cutler thing doesn't happen and he is the quarterback, it's his ride or die year. If he doesn't have a good enough year, or he doesn't even win the quarterbacks, even if it's Case Keenum again, it's ride or die, because he's on the fringe right now of being in the same conversation as Leaf and Russell, because then if it doesn't work out this year or the next year, he might get on a practice squad, but if it wasn't good enough to do it, And
you need to, when you pick a guy like that first, unfortunately, they have to produce right away. It's just the nature of the NFL. To go back to Jay Cutler, I think he's going to New York Jets. I think that'll be their bridge quarterback. Just talking about QBs on the move. I think he's that guy where you can have him for like 2 years.
Now I definitely wish Mike was here.
They'd be going off Jets. Oh, he hates Jay Cutler too. So
oh gosh, Jay Cutler, what a.
Oh man, that'd be so sad. I'd be so happy now if Jay Cutler went to the Jets and Mike had to cheer for him. Oh my gosh, because it is a realistic possibility that could happen.
Well,
I know it's not like talked
coach,
about.
Right?
I know everybody's like, oh, Tony Romo, like, where's he going? He'll be a Jet. No. Jay Cutler.
Yeah, because the quarterback's coach.
Yeah, and it makes sense. And you have the connection already there with him and Brandon Marshall. They obviously were pretty good, even though the times are problems.
I mean, I hear that, but
who knows?
We don't even know if Brandon Marshall's staying. So
yeah, who knows with that whole situation. Now, another guy on the move that could be on the move.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Don't see Adrian Peterson? Or
yeah.
Who were you? Yeah. So,
well, no, I don't see that. I see it being a possibility. I just don't see him leaving Minnesota, because I think Minnesota is a team that is still ready to take off and be one of the best in the league.
See, I see Peterson
that was not
moving.
a fluke. What happened in the beginning of the season? Their defense is good enough to be that good, and Bradford, as long as he is completing percentage and you have a good enough running game, I think if Peterson stays healthy, he's Adrian Peterson of old. Obviously, I think this team is a playoff team. So,
do you think? Though they'll
did I just once again?
For that
I think I need to correct myself. I think I said that division had 3 playoff teams. Earlier that
you might have.
That's not true.
You might have. I didn't
in
even
my
notice.
head, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, that's what you think.
The Vikings are good enough to be in the playoffs.
Well, they're 3 playoff caliber teams.
I feel like I wrote them into the playoffs when they were like 5-0.
Well, that didn't turn out well.
Like mentally,
they're in.
Wow.
The only problem is though that's a lot of money the Vikings have to pay him this year if they keep him this year. Unless they restructure that deal.
The Giants?
Well, what I'm thinking is the Vikings say, okay, we're not going to pay you this much.
Packers?
There's been a lot of pressure on Ted Thompson to make a move. Eddie Lacy's a free agent.
Good. He can come. He can switch places.
That would be, I mean, why not? I don't understand why not. It's not like the Packers are looking for a young running back that can, for the future right now. Maybe they are, but I mean, that guy, Peterson stays healthy.
Well, Ty Montgomery's officially running back now.
You know what? What's awesome though? Have him work.
Starks is gone.
Yeah, have him work with Adrian Peterson. Like, have him benefit from Adrian Peterson, because I don't think Ty Montgomery's the guy that can handle 15 to 20 carries.
Tell me if I'm wrong. I could see the Packers taking a chance if he falls to them at some point on Dalvin Cook. Yeah. Do you see that or no?
No, I could. They need a running back. It's a huge hole right now.
Mm-hmm.
It like we saw last year. Christian Michael, I love that dude. He's awesome. But he's not a guy that can carry 15 to 20. Like, it looked like they were just trying to piece together anything they could.
I disagree with that only because I thought he did that in Seattle for a little bit there.
Christian Michael? He did, but his numbers weren't that great.
Hmm.
He did run behind a horrible offensive line, though, too. So I'll give him that. Yeah. But he really wasn't that great a producer.
I just don't understand how he's put together, decent.
There's something going on in the locker room with him or something. He just keeps
getting cut left and right.
There's something that's not there that's
I
happening.
Agree. Well, he did play college with Johnny Manziel, so who knows what his...
Could you imagine Peterson, though, getting the handoff from Aaron Rodgers?
Do I want to? No.
No, but I'm just, there's going to be some, like, Latavius Murray might be a free agent. I can see it. Latavius Murray might be a free agent. I think the Packers I can see it. They need to make a move, but Peterson...
It's being called, the reverse Favre? I could see it, but I don't see them signing. He's gotten this far, man. I feel like Peterson's gotten this far with one franchise. He's got 2 or 3 years left. It's not like the Vikings are the low of the low. They're a team that's ready to still compete. I don't see the reason to leave. Unless it is money. Unless it is money. I
think it's going to come down to money. And I think it's going to come down to Peterson. If he's willing to restructure his deal with the Vikings, then he would stay. Because, all the points you bring up, the Vikings aren't that far off. Quarterback-wise, it looks like they're going to have to try to plan on going with Bradford next year. Because Teddy Bridgewater is going to be out still longer than anticipated, which is fine. Bradford did well.
I like it. I love it, man. I think that team's going to be...
I don't know. We're going to have to see. I mean, Peterson...
I think they got the division locked up already. No, I was kidding.
In my opinion, Peterson's on the move. That's just what I think. I think some team is going to get him...
I think the Vikings...
On like a 1-year deal for $3 million or something.
I think the Vikings, while they wouldn't be necessarily, quote-unquote, okay with that, I think they would go after Lacey.
Yeah, why not?
They have to bring somebody in.
Yeah.
Maybe they might even call the Jets and be like, is Forte available? I mean...
And this isn't the worst running back class. I know it hasn't got... I think
it's the right running back class.
You got Christian McCaffrey. You have two guys this year who I think is still a good running back.
Well, McCaffrey's going to be fine. I think.
But I feel like his stock has slipped a little bit just from
the running back stock in general has slipped.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Ezekiel Elliott taking 4th overall last year. That was it
was big,
unheard of. So you look at Eddie Lacy and Le'Veon Bell. I guess you can focus on Le'Veon Bell because the season Lacy's coming off of. But if I tell you right now, if we're completely have amnesia of don't remember where those guys were taken, where would you think a Le'Veon Bell was taken? Do you think he's a first round talent?
Well, yeah, obviously, but he obviously
taken
didn't get
second.
There. Yeah,
and that's where the running back, the cream of the crop running backs, kind of end up.
Yeah.
Then you kind of get the people who look like physical specimens, and you just really know that they're going to be good.
Yeah.
But Derrick Henry. He had the look of it. He had the college stats, but he didn't get taken until the 2nd round.
Yeah, it's true, and he's looked good when he played in the NFL.
Got taken the first pick of the 2nd round.
I think he got picked 2nd round. I remember
telling my dad, who was really bullish on Henry. He loved him at Alabama. He was like, "That guy's going to be really good in the NFL," which I still think he will be. But he happened to go to a team that already had a workhorse type back in DeMarco Murray. Well, they traded for him, but. They took Eli Apple over him, and Apple was great this year. But I told him, Dad, you guys had a chance to take him. The Giants.
Yeah.
So it's not that he was disappointed because Eli Apple had a solid rookie season for the Giants. But I think there's a lot of teams now that kind of wish, and I think it's because of the skill positions that you feel like you need to take earlier.
Yeah.
But I think there are some teams that probably wish they took a Derrick Henry because I think he's going to be a very good player in the NFL, and it doesn't make sense to me. When Eddie Lacy, Le'Veon Bell got taken over Eddie Lacy, and at the time I was like, oh, why wasn't Lacy the first running back off the board? And obviously you know why now.
Yeah, now you know
I'm not
why.
Scouting, and I was a fan of Bell coming out of Michigan State, but it was just Lacy plays on the stage. He already played. It's almost one of those things. He already played in the NFL.
Yeah, you're watching him on the big stage. You're
it's not like Lacy's been bad.
He's almost a household name at that point because he's on Alabama.
And he was good. He was very good for the Packers the first 2 years, and it was just
he even played good this year when he was hurt.
Right.
I just don't think the Packers signed him though.
And this is I'm going to cross over into Major League Baseball for a second.
Oh wow.
I know weight is a big deal, but to me, for someone like Eddie Lacy, and I'm going to cross over into the MLB with Pablo Sandoval, when the weight works for a guy, I feel like you don't have. You know what I'm saying?
Have to.
Don't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So when Kung Fu Panda is, playing the way he plays at the weight that he likes to be at. I mean, yeah, get him down a little bit, but don't necessarily put him in an uncomfortable zone of being fit. Because you don't. And then the same thing with Eddie Lacy. Like, you're trying to trim him down, but he's still a guy. He's a big guy that can move. Until that is no longer the case, that's when his NFL days are over.
Yeah, I think it's when they get older it becomes a problem.
Yes, I agree with that.
That's the only time. But I completely agree with, like, if this guy's normally playing at 225, but you think he's overweight and fat, so you think, oh, he's got to lose weight, he's got to lean up, and he's playing at like 200. That's a big thing for that player to adjust to now. Like, maybe not being able to plow over a guy, or maybe just not feeling comfortable in general, like with his physical stature now, which can really affect a player's mindset and can really affect how they play the game.
All right, so are we done? With this conversation?
I think so.
Okay, I got one last thing on this podcast.
Let's do it.
It's a spontaneous Saturday, right?
Whoa.
Talk about quarterbacks.
You're crazy now. All right.
I say we go through about 10 or 15 guys who are actually solid, and we kind of try to predict the amount of Super Bowls that quarterback ends up with from the day he calls it quits.
Like, to win or just go to?
Well, what do you think? Where do you think would be better? Do you think it would be better?
I feel like winning would be like so hard to pick. Like, it'd be like one
I
for
agree
almost
with that.
every single. Let's do Super Bowls to get to.
Super Bowls to get to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super Bowl appearances.
All right. So
I'm guessing you have a list of quarterbacks then right there.
Well, I will, and I will momentarily. I mean, I can easily get off the top of my head. It just matters what the. Well, we didn't touch on Garoppolo at all.
He might.
Is he better than any other quarterback in the draft class? You think? Would you rather have Garoppolo than Kaiser, Watson, or obviously Trubisky? Because you look at Kaiser and Trubisky. If you listen to the top guys, they're projects. They're like a Jared Goff. They're like even Carson Wentz was. And a Paxton Lynch last year. They're projects. Garoppolo isn't viewed that way. So I think you'd have to.
I'd probably say I'd want Garoppolo. And he's played in a complex system too where he can obviously handle it. I would have to go Garoppolo in that case. The other quarterbacks could be good, but like you said, they're going to be projects. You don't know what you're going to get out of them right away. It's going to be a whole process.
So a lot of the big thing for me was when we were talking about the running backs.
Mm-hmm.
For me, like Lacy and Henry, eye test. Someone I watched a lot because they were on the national stage. And then you got the other ones. So that would be Deshaun Watson. And then I know Kaiser was on this national stage a lot with Notre Dame, but he still wasn't too flashy because Notre Dame wasn't that very good.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey Trubisky's on UNC. No one really watches UNC for college football that much. I mean, they were irrelevant this year, but at what point are you one of those people that definitely says eye test 100%? So that's how I was with Lacy. I watched Lacy more than I saw Le'Veon Bell. Not saying Bell couldn't have been good, but at that time I was like, I gotta pick Lacy because that's the guy I've seen the most. That would be Watson compared to Kaiser.
I guess I'd favor them a little more, but I'm a big numbers guy too. I guess college football though is hard because stats can be obviously varying from position to position and division to division, class to class basically, like where you play, who you play. But again, a lot of those times, those numbers do prove to correlate with the player's success.
Do you want to get some music rolling with this?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
So this is basically, should we bet the ranch it? It's not quite bet the ranch.
Yeah, but let's get the bet the ranch on. Because that makes sense.
Because basically we're going to say we're predicting by betting the ranch kind of on
how many
we
times
think
they're going to make it. Yeah.
Good stuff. If you guys, if you get this far in the podcast, this is where it gets great.
This is where it gets nuts.
We put it on the best. We got some great segments on this show.
Now, what are we doing? 10 quarterbacks or 15?
We'll probably actually work out to 15. We're not going to spend too much time on it.
We'll just kind of
pretty straightforward
pick
with a lot of these guys. Yeah. And let's get ready to go.
Let's do it.
I'd bet the ranch.
All right, here we go. Betting the ranch on Super Bowls, and there's no better person to start with this, right, than Tom Brady.
Ooh.
Guy's already made 7, won 5. Now, we don't know where his career is going to end up. We know Belichick and whatnot. First things first, my only thought on this is, if you're Belichick or Brady, and this is my question to you, do you want one or the other to be gone at some point? Now, it's easier for Belichick. Brady is playing. So if you're Brady, would you say, all right, I want to go elsewhere, so the haters that say he's only doing it because of Belichick, and then for Belichick, do you at one point want to say, all right, Brady's gone. I got Garoppolo now. I got this guy now, but I'm still winning the Super Bowl. Do you think I doubt either of them care, but do you kind of want to see both of them at some point? I know, like I said, Belichick's easier for this to happen on a different team to see who they really are. I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, it's not gonna happen. I'm 100% like we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like I love a guy staying on the same team, but at some point, I kind of want to see Brady go to Cleveland and see what he would do with that team.
I don't want to see Brady go anywhere because it might tarnish his reputation. I love Brady.
Right.
But
say
it's kind
it's
of
not
intriguing.
him. Say it's like a Peyton Manning-esque. Say it's Brett Favre-esque where they definitely got forced out.
Yeah, he definitely. I don't think he goes anywhere else.
He's not gonna get forced out either.
No, but if he ever did, I can't see a team where Tom Brady. You know what I mean? There's not like that team where I'm like, you know what, Tom Brady in that uniform.
Do you think Belichick coaches past Brady retirement?
Yes, maybe one. No, you know what? Yes, he will. I think he will. I don't think it'll be long.
I don't think we know the quarterback yet either.
No.
So
Tom Brady's Super Bowl appearances left in him, I will say 1.
You think it's 1?
I think it's 1.
Swan song. I think you're right. I think it's like a swan song type thing, and it's gonna be probably the worst day of my life because I might have to sit there and watch. I might have to sit there and watch him have his Peyton Manning moment. Now I'm gonna call it.
Yep.
And it's gonna be 6, not second. And
it could totally happen.
Yeah.
Like
I would
could.
definitely bet the ranch that he gets 1 more.
Same.
Drew Brees only been to 1. Will he get back to another? And I guess we could talk about whether we think he's going to win one. But does Drew Brees get to another Super Bowl? You have to imagine he probably has a similar amount of time Brady has left, maybe a year or 2 more than Brady.
Oh my gosh, this one's so tough for some reason. You want to say yes, but then you're like, oh man, there's so many good teams in that. I'm going to say yes. Give me 1 more for Drew Brees. 1 more Super Bowl appearance. He's still so good.
I would not bet the ranch that he's going to get back to Super Bowl just because, yes, he's so good.
It's that team, though, as a whole.
I mean, he's had one really great team, and that
you
was
could
the
see
run
him
that
not
had.
playing for New Orleans.
They lost to the Bears, right?
Yeah.
Back when Deuce McAllister was the
You
running
could
back.
see them not making the Saints. I mean, not being on. I could
When's the
see
last time
him
we
being
made
on
the
a different
playoffs?
team.
I can see him being on a different team. I do see that. Because I think Peyton's kind of at this point where I don't know if he's going to retire or he's going to go elsewhere. He might be enticed. I heard that he might be enticed by a different job that might open up next year. I'm not sure what that would be.
Yeah,
but
that would be
Bernard's
nuts.
somewhere that could possibly be the case.
I'm going to bet the ranch on it. I'll say 1.
Get him on.
I think Drew Brees gets 1 more.
I'm not going to bet the ranch on that. So I'm going to say 0 more for Drew Brees, but we already had a conversation on a previous podcast that he might be the best statistical quarterback of all time. Although I will always stand by Peyton Manning as my best quarterback of all time. Get at me. We'll maybe talk about that future podcast. At EricH1045 if you want to come at me. At Hogan Hoagie.
Oh, yeah. Hogan, baby.
The next one is Matt Ryan that I want to talk about. And I look at this point, and I know he hasn't won a Super Bowl. But can you see Matt Ryan kind of being similar to Drew Brees at this point?
I'm going to say oh, man. I can't believe it. I'm going to say 0.
He's not going to get another one.
I don't think he's going to get another chance. It took him so long. And I like Matt Ryan. I think he's
well, I mean, Brees, same amount of time.
This is why I actually attribute Kyle Shanahan. I'm giving Kyle Shanahan a lot of credit here.
Maybe I shouldn't. What about? But
maybe I
shouldn't. If you're going to give him credit, you're going to give him...
Oh, the downfall too? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that offense did not look the same in the second half.
Where's Dan Quinn at, man? He knows from previous experience being in Seattle that you got to run the football at some point.
Yeah, that was odd play calling, but I don't think Matt Ryan sees another Super Bowl. Unfortunately, I'd love to see him win one, but I'm gonna say no. I'm not gonna bet the ranch he gets there.
They brought in the Alabama guy, right?
Yeah,
that is interesting enough for me. I thought this could be this team. The offensive weapons, as long as they're still there, I think this team can get back next year.
I mean, they have the talent to do so, and they're, in my opinion, it's going to fall so much on, like, the defense is going to be better, I think. I think it's going to keep getting better, like, under that Dan Quinn. I think they got talent there, too. They're fast. They're young. I just don't know in Atlanta.
I would say I think he gets to another one. I think he'll actually win. I think he'll get one.
Get
actually.
one.
Yeah, I do.
Would you bet the ranch?
I'd bet the ranch on it.
Bet's the ranch on it.
Okay. Matthew Stafford never won a playoff game, right? Yeah.
No, he definitely
But he's
hasn't.
0 for 2. 0 for 2 in playoff games.
I'm going to say 0.
0 in his career.
Unfortunately. You want to say yes because he's actually a good
Yeah,
quarterback.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. Philip Rivers never been to one.
He will. He'll get one.
He'll get one.
He'll get a Super Bowl. I'm telling you, that man, I love the way he plays. And
But we're on the same timeline here with Breeze. We're in the same timeline area.
maybe they play each other for Super Bowl.
Oh,
Whoa.
maybe Chargers Saint.
Whoa. I mean, that would be weird. I mean, no one was expecting the Atlanta
That happened
Falcons to
this
get this
year.
far, though, this year.
That's true. That's
so
true.
I will say I've seen crazy things happen. So I don't know.
All right, Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
He's only been to one, and he's won one. That won it, right?
Yeah, he's only been to one, won it against the Steelers.
I'm hard pressed not to believe they'd get back there. So
He'll at least get to one more. Right?
Yes,
like,
right,
he'll at least
exactly.
get to one more. I say he gets 3.
if he's as good as everyone keeps saying he is,
I'm saying 3.
he gets 3 or he'll get to 3.
He'll get to 3. I don't know if he'll get to 3. Because I can't imagine that defense being that bad. And again, the defense was part of the problem against the Falcons this year. The offense didn't look good either. I can't imagine that team not being better than it was this previous season. He's got the weapons.
Yeah,
He's the best quarterback in my
impossible.
opinion.
It's impossible for me not to think he'll get back to another Super Bowl.
Yeah. I'm going to bet the Ranch he gets to 3, though. That's a lot. But I'm betting the Ranch he gets to 3. That's a lot.
I would definitely bet the Ranch he'll get to one more in his career.
Yeah.
For sure. Russell Wilson, he's been to 2.
He'll get to one more.
He'll get to one more.
He'll get to one more in his career.
In his career, right? So would you bet it'd be in the next 5 years, or do you think it's like it could be a 10-year gap in between his last one? Because his last one was in the year 2015. Is when the Super Bowl was. It's interesting. Like we said, we kind of touched on it. The Seattle's kind of trending down at this point.
Yeah, in the next 5 years.
Would you also bet the rest that it's with Seattle that he gets to an Super Bowl?
Yeah, I'll say he'll be a Seattle homer the rest of his life. I'm going to say he gets one more. I don't know. God, that 5-year mark, though, is weird. Like, I want to say yes, but I'm also like...
I don't know.
Oh, man. I can't bet the Ranch that it'll be in the next 5 years.
Because if that defense doesn't get back to the form it was before, the offense is going to have to step up.
We've seen, like, great defenses, too.
Marshawn
Like,
Lynch's no
pieces
longer
start
there,
getting taken away from it, and it's like Jimmy Graham is kind of... He had a great season last year, but how many more seasons does he have?
Right. Well, we thought that was going to put them over the top because they were coming off for Super Bowl when they got him.
Yeah, and clearly,
they sacrificed the offensive line, and that ended up hurting them more than getting.
And they need to find
help them.
that running back, whether it's Thomas Rawls, maybe CJ Proslice is good, but they need to get back to that game where Russell Wilson can really shine in that offense. So I'll bet.
This is where it gets to where I wanted. This is the only reason why I did it.
Oh God, who's this? Is this Eli Manning?
It's Eli Manning.
Well, isn't that funny? I had no idea. I just right when he said those words. I'll say. Oh man, I want to say yes so bad because that defense, but I don't know how much longer Eli has either.
I'm betting the Ranch he gets back to another one and wins it.
Well, let me tell you something. He gets the Super Bowl, he's winning it. That's if he gets there, he'll win it.
Let me put a hypothetical out there. Let's say he gets back
tough.
to another Super Bowl and he does win it.
Yeah.
Does that solidify him as a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
Or like a great quarterback of all time? Let's say it's what we talk about Brady getting back. Let's say it's another Brady
Eli Manning,
and he beats them. And Brady's 5-3 in Super Bowls. And those 3 losses are to Eli Manning.
God.
So if you beat the best in the Super Bowl 3 times, where does that put you?
I won't put him at an all-time great quarterback because I don't think Super Bowls are like the only thing.
Right.
I think he's a really good quarterback. Like I'd want. It's hard to pick a quarterback that I would take over him in a playoff game still, even with last year. It's so tough.
But yeah, I would say that's the team I'm picking actually for Super Bowl next year.
I am not.
At this juncture, this moment right now.
I am not going
Giants
to
Super
bet
Bowl
the Rams.
champs. 52.
Wow. I'm not going to bet the Rams are going to get there. Because I think they have to deal with Dallas.
You know how much I'm like not on McAdoo's camp?
Yeah.
So like it's one of those things
It's
where like
weird.
I want to be right that McAdoo's like not the guy, but I still want to be right that Eli Manning's.
That's a team. You know who can help him get it there? help Eli, Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, I agree.
Paul Perkins and
They
him out of the
need that
backfield would be
running back.
great.
Yes.
Well, and then you have Shane Vereen. That's a great three
And if the
trio
offensive
running
line
backs.
can maybe get something together.
I'll change my pick if that happens.
Flacco.
Wait, was that supposed to be like Joe Fluke? Like maybe it was a fluke that he got there the first time and won it, but
He's Eli Manning, yes. He gets in the playoffs. He wins
Yeah.
some games.
will he get to another one? No.
I mean, the coach is good enough. The defenses are historically good
They
enough.
need to get better cornerbacks, though. Jimmy Smith has been good, but they're undersized other than Jimmy Smith.
Yeah. I would
I'm going to
say
say no, though.
I would say no.
Yeah.
All right.
Poor Joe
So-
Fluke.
I got to put Carson Palmer in this just because.
Oh, God. So basically this year or not?
Yeah.
Wow. No, he won't.
Yeah. All right.
0.
Pretty easy.
That was
Nope. The Kirk man, Kirk Cousins, Captain Kirk. Will he ever get a Super Bowl in his career? And this is where it gets kind of interesting question because I think this is the question now of how long is Kirk Cousins the quarterback in the NFL? Is he going to be a long time guy? I think
Oh,
for sure.
yeah. I think
Okay.
he'll always find himself on the roster.
So we were going to put him on like
and he's proven to be good the last 2 years.
right. Okay, so we're saying he's going to probably have at least 8 more.
I just don't think he
8,
gets to
10
a
more
Super
years.
Bowl, though. I'm imagining like Washington, and I'm like,
Just letting that
they're going to lose
ride.
Deshaun Jackson most likely. I don't think so. Not with the Redskins anyways.
I think that's exactly. Yeah, you just took the words out of my brain.
Yeah.
Not with the Redskins, but I say he gets the one
Ooh.
with the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, God. Wow.
That team's going to be a
What a bold
dynasty in
guess.
7 years.
With Kirk Cousins,
And Kirk Cousins is going to end up on it somehow.
the Tom Brady of the Browns.
The head coach is going to be Peyton Manning. What am I saying?
That would be awesome.
He's at least going to be the GM. I don't know, one or the other. Ben Roethlisberger. How can I forget Big Ben? Ben to 2. No, excuse me. Ben to 3 and 1-2.
I'm going to say no. There were already talks of him retiring. I know he's not going to. I know he's not going to, but he does take a lot of hits, and he hasn't played
He
a
does.
full healthy season in like I don't know how long. And also, Le'Veon Bell or Antonio Brown, one of the two, I don't believe is going to be there.
Next year?
Not the year after.
Yeah, the year after.
So basically, in my opinion, he's going to have his best chance next year with his offense.
As long as the refs are still, like, corrupt, then I think they'll get to one next year.
Wow, that's a
Steelers Giants. Super
That's a
Bowl.
call at the reffing association there. All the refs.
Yeah, man. I mean, we don't call face masks that would keep a team in field goal range.
No, they won't get there. They won't have the James Harrison to save him either.
Yeah, it's tough. I think that they might get to one.
Would you bet the ranch?
I bet the Ranch that Big Ben would get to one more.
See, in my opinion, he's got like 2 more years. So that's why I'm like, do I see it in 2 more years? I'm going to say no.
Well, who's the favorite in the AFC next year? Obviously the Patriots, but then past that, what is it? Chiefs have never made Andy Reid and Alex Smith, which actually that's the next one we're gonna go with.
Yeah.
Alex Smith. But like, do you see one of them? And then who else is there? Is it gonna be Steelers?
Well, if Denver
Patriots
gets
again?
a quarterback. I
yeah.
like them more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like Denver more, actually.
Anyone from the South scare you?
No.
Anyone
unfortunately
other than the Patriots in the East scare you?
No.
And then anyone from
I see your point.
their division? Bengals maybe?
If the Bengals
Bengals or
could
Ravens?
win a playoff game, yes.
Okay.
I'm more scared of the Bengals because I actually think they are extremely talented on both sides of the
I wonder
ball.
if I'm gonna change my pick in like, what is this? Is this February? So in 5 months?
It'll be interesting
5,
to
6
see.
months? Will I change my pick?
Maybe.
But right now it's Giants over Steelers in the Super Bowl. Way too early Super Bowl prediction. Let's go to those last. How about 4 more?
Okay.
4 more.
So is Alex Smith next?
Alex Smith.
No, he won't get to one. Because I don't even know if he'll be a Chief.
Yeah.
And who's to say
has
he
to
goes
stay
to a
Chief.
team? Yeah.
I think Andy Reid wins one Super
Super Bowl.
before he retires.
Maybe
So
with Tony Romo.
maybe.
Maybe.
I'll say. Hey,
I
you
can't.
know Alex Smith never played a Super Bowl, but he got to a Super Bowl.
Probably should have been the quarterback
Right?
there. Yeah. No, he did
Yeah,
with
he
the
was the
49ers.
backup, right?
Yeah, he's the 49ers backup for Colin Kaepernick. He started the season, though, awesome, and then
He
got
turned
hurt.
out the lights and couldn't get the
Turned
Kaepernick
out the
in time.
lights.
What? Andy Dalton. Talk about the Bengals winning a playoff game. Andy Dalton. Does he end up winning a playoff game and shut up with the critics? Getting to
Yes. He'll get to a Super Bowl.
He'll get to a
One
Super
in his
Bowl?
career. Yep. I'll bet the ranch on
the
it.
Red Rifle. I'll say no.
It won't be with Marvin Lewis as head coach.
So the dude will never win a playoff game.
So when they finally ship him off,
He'll win a Super Bowl next year.
he'll win a Super Bowl.
All right.
He'll
I
get
actually
to
got
one.
3 more.
Okay.
I
like this.
I want the 2 from the same draft class. 1, 2. So Jameis Winston or Marcus Mariota. What do you think? Either one of them will get to Super Bowl?
I don't think Winston will ever get one. I think Mariota,
Winston won a championship.
he did. That doesn't always correlate.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's like a Carmelo Anthony.
I kind of want to say Mariota for some reason.
Mariota
He just
does.
reminds me of like this
Yeah.
poised quarterback that I think like would be able to play. Like
think
he
they
gets to
both-
playoffs.
I think they both get to one. Could be against each other.
That'd be
Who knows?
awesome. I'll say Mariota.
Last but not least, obviously we missed a lot. I missed Cam Newton. Should we just say Cam Newton?
Cam Newton gets another Super Bowl? No,
No. Yeah.
I just can't see it.
No, I can see it. I'd bet the wrench he gets to one more maybe. He's got a long time left. So
Does he though?
with the head injuries.
Yeah, with everything compiled on. I mean, I think he's got like 5 more years.
I think that they might be them and the Falcons are probably one of the bigger threats to the Giants next year. I think the Panthers bounce back, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, they should. I mean,
It's going to be a tough division.
They need to
Because
improve
then
that defense
I
and
think Jameis
secondary.
Winston and the Bucs are going to be good.
That secondary needs to improve.
Yep. So the last one, Dak Prescott.
Yes.
Gets to a Super Bowl with the Cowboys.
Yeah, he'll get to one.
I can't bet the ranch on that. I'm sorry. I
Ooh,
can't.
I'll bet the Ranch. They got Dez there. They got, obviously, Elliott. That offensive line should be intact for a little while.
Jerry Jones got to sell the team before they get back to us.
It's true. I got faith, though. He'll make it. He'll make it to one.
And that wraps up. Bet the ranch.
Bet the
On
Ranch.
the quarterback Super Bowl appearance.
What a good way to end the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, the
We'll
NFL
probably touch
season.
on it around the draft time.
Yeah,
a little
obviously.
bit.
But this was it's a good way to kind of.
All right,
you
so
know,
we
early
have
predictions.
a NBA/college basketball. We got a new segment debuting tomorrow.
So be
It's gonna be
ready
good.
for
It's
that.
gonna be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
It's called. Oh yeah, never give up. Don't give up. Give up. Give up or
Don't
don't
give up on me now.
Something like that.
A little singing in
Something
it.
like that. It's gonna be a great segment. Touching college basketball. I wouldn't call this the way too early, but this is definitely a little bit early tournament.
it's just about
tournament
time.
special because the conference tournament's starting a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So make sure to keep your ears and your eyes
Open on.
open on 1045theteam.com.
Definitely make sure they're not closed.
Well, that was a perfect ending.
Yeah.
Perfect ending. So for Matt Hogan, I'm Eric Hanman. You've been listening to Sittin Sportside podcast right here on 1045theteam.com. And we'll see you next time.
Can't wait.